Good evening. The time is 6:31. I would now call the February 5th, 2024 meeting of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence to order. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for bringing us together today to do your service. Continue to keep us together, Lord, in your honor. These and other blessings I ask of you in your darling name. Amen.
Amen.
Determination of a quorum. We do have a quorum. Let the record reflect that there are 9 councilors present and that we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam President. And for the record, we will just note that there is an agenda posted at the entrance of the meeting room, and there are extra copies available. And for any citizens who wish to speak under public comments this evening, there's a sign-in sheet at the back.
Thank you. The next agenda is the comments of the council members and special recognitions or resolutions. Do any councils have any comments? Okay. Do we have any special recognitions or resolutions this evening? Okay. The next agenda item is the approval of minutes of the regular meeting on January the 17th, 2024. Are there any questions or corrections to the meeting's minutes? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting on January the 17th, 2024?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Councilor Carlos. Jennings? Thank you, Councilor Rick Wells, for second. Are there any further discussions? We will now proceed to vote to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, signify by saying nay. We have a unanimous vote. The next agenda item is the signing of vouchers, approval of claims, and authorization of payment. Do we have a motion to approve the vouchers?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Councilor Freeman.
A second?
Thank you, Councilor Jennings, for the second. We will now proceed to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? We have a unanimous vote for the approval of the vouchers. The next agenda item is unfinished business, reports of committees. We have council appointments to make this evening. All appointments made this evening shall be subject to and made for the terms governed by statute and any relevant ordinance and until their successors are appointed and qualified. Do you have any ballots that they can use?
No, everybody has ballots at their
Okay.
seats. This is your ballots.
Everyone has ballots at their seats?
It should be attached to your agenda.
Okay. We will begin with the council appointments to the Redevelopment Commission. You'd like to fill out your ballots?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I was just curious, do we know if the mayor has already made her appointments to these?
Yes, she has.
Do we have a list of those names?
That was emailed out to everyone, or text message out to everyone. You didn't get your copy? It was sent out
When was it sent?
I'm checking now.
about a week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while back.
Okay, well, maybe that's why.
I can get you a copy, but I just don't have one with me.
Okay, well, we'll play it by ear tonight then. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the redevelopment.
Madam President? Is the floor open for nominations?
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I was getting ready to ask you, can you give us the names of the nominees
The nominees that we,
for the redevelopment?
for the redevelopment, Sarah Whitaker and Elia James.
So it's both. We have 2 spots.
2 spots, yes, sir.
And councilors, you'll take each in turn, so you'll do 2 separate votes on the 2 separate appointees.
Redevelopment.
Redevelopment. Elliot James.
Now,
Leah James?
who takes the ballots? She does.
Elliot?
Elia, I think it's. Is that who's nominated?
It's Elliot James, right?
Elia, Elia James.
Elia. And that's who has been nominated
Yes, sir.
by,
Oh,
We did it.
Whitaker.
Sharon made the contact. She contacted
Ron
her.
was calling. You would call folks.
She did.
Yeah.
Okay, is everyone done with yours?
And Terrell made the one for Sarah.
Huh?
I said Counselor Giles made contact for Sarah.
Is it 2? There's only 1 ballot with 3 spots, though, right? You gonna bring them back? Just write both people on it, but we'll do the vote one at a time.
That's correct, councilors. So Madam President has asked me to help with this process. So what will happen is, once you submit your information to the clerk, we will entertain a motion from a councilor for the first nominee and proceed to a vote, and then a motion for the second nominee and proceed to a vote.
What is Sarah's last name again?
Whitaker. Whitaker. Whittitter.
so there's only the 2.
Okay, council, I believe the information's been submitted to the clerk. Is there a motion to approve Sarah Whitaker to the Redevelopment Commission?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
We're gonna vote them at one time, each at one time.
Madam President, we have a motion and a second for Sarah Whitaker to the Redevelopment Commission. You may call for a vote when you're ready.
Do we, how many,
We voted by ballot.
yeah, just wait for
Clerk
her.
can tally up the votes and
Okay.
There's 9 yays
9 for Sarah.
and Elia.
How many for her?
You next.
How many for?
9.
9. That's unanimous. So Sarah Whitaker and Elia James both have been nominated for the Redevelopment Commission.
Just by way of procedure, we will just go ahead and get a vote on the record for Elia as well, like we just did for Sarah. So is there a motion?
make the motion.
Thank you, Counselor Freeman. Second.
A second?
Thank you, Counselor Jennings, for second. Next, we will have a vote for the Utility Service Board, and the nominees, the names are, well, we have one, is Shanita Gillard,
Spell that?
Chanita, first name, second name, Gillard.
Is she for the USB? I thought she was an alternate for the BZA.
I have her down for the Utility Service Board.
Did you discuss that with her, Sharon? I know she told me you called her.
I did,
Which,
and she said any board.
oh, she said any board. Okay, cool.
Okay?
Great.
We only have the one?
We have the one, because Tracy Board, we have two, but Tracy Board is going to continue.
Oh,
Her term's
okay.
not up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Her name is Shanita.
How did you?
Shanita, Chanita.
Thank you.
Counselors, while these ballots are being collected, similar to the redevelopment commission appointees, you're voting by ballot. And just for the record, the two from the redevelopment commission were unanimous votes. And so we'll state for the record again for this appointee as well, after we get a motion in a second.
We have 9 yeas
Nine.
for Shanita Gillard.
Okay. Can I get a motion for Shanita Gillard?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Zach Kramer, Counselor Kramer.
Second?
Thank you for seconding it, Counselor Jennings. So Shanita Gilliard will be on the Utility Service Board. Next, we will have the Board of Zoning Appeals. And we have 4 positions there. We have Karen Horseman, Eugene West, John Paul, and Faith Alvarez.
Is John Paul the first name, or is his name John Paul?
John Paul.
I'd like to nominate, we have 4 openings on the
Yes.
BZA?
Yes.
Oh, that's a
Is it an alternate? Is it 3 and an alternate?
I'd like to nominate J.D. Masur.
Okay.
So counselors, if we have multiple nominees beyond the 4, what we'll do is we'll take one at a time and entertain each nominee as requested. So we do have a motion for JD. Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion on that nominee? Whenever you're ready, you can call for.
Call for a motion for Karen Horseman for the zoning board. Oh, that's right, we're using the ballots, I'm sorry.
So you should all have 5 names on your ballot.
I don't. We're doing this sort of out of order.
Don't vote for 5 of them.
No, she'll pick up one, bring it back to us, or?
Right, so you're going to have to get 5 down to 4. The council's going to have to get the 5 nominees down to 4.
So you vote.
Yeah,
Do you have another
yeah,
nominee?
I just-
You can make that now?
Any counselor can bring a nominee should you choose.
Okay, I have another nominee for this, for the BZA.
Oh, that's what I was supposed to, this is the alternate, so, this, yeah,
I'll ask Madam Chair what you.
alternate on that one. Okay. Let me just scratch this.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make another nomination for the BZA as well.
Okay.
I would like to nominate Mr. James Eaterman, E-R-T-M-E-R.
Okay. You said James,
James Eaterman.
E-R-T,
E-R-T-M-E-R.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Intermittent. E-R-T-N-E-R.
We picking 4?
And she said,
What was the name after John?
Madam President,
yes.
I'd like to nominate Sean Denny.
I think someone spoke to Sean, and he has another commitment.
Oh, he does? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Or was that for the USB, because the USB meets on Tuesdays?
It was for every,
Oh, for everything? Okay.
So counselors, I believe you all should have 6 names on your ballot. You'll submit those 6 names, and the clerk will then tabulate the ballot. So I have Karen, Eugene, John, Faith, JD, and James. Madam President, did I get those correct?
How do you get 6 names?
Because we had 4, and then we added, I added one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Keith Alvarez. I'm sorry, could you do the nomination names one more time?
Okay, we have Karen Horseman, Eugene West, John Paul, Faith Alvarez, Jim Masur, and James
And that's Horseman?
Horseman, H-O-R-S-E-M-A-N. Yes.
So council, could we get a motion to approve the nominees subject to the votes that the clerk is tabulating?
I'll make a motion.
I second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, you may tabulate the votes.
Karen Horseman, JD, John Paul, Faith Alvarez.
So,
Okay, we have the tally. For James Etner, we have 4. Karen Horseman, 9. J.D. Masur, 7. Eugene West, 6. Faith Everaz, 9. And John Paul is 7. So we needed 4, so we have Karen Horseman, John Paul, Faith Alvarez, and Jim Masur. Those are the 4.
So we had, for the record, we had 2 people with votes of 9, the majority. And then how many people with 7?
2 with 7. That was John Paul and Jim Masur. And then,
Jim is 6. Mazur is 6.
oh, Jim Masur is 6. I'm sorry, Jim Masur is 6. So it's between Jim Masur and Eugene West. They both have 6.
Yes.
So in the event of a split tie, we'll need to entertain another motion from the council on the remaining 2, to the extent someone would want to nominate the 2 with the 6 votes, if you
I'll
wouldn't mind
make-
reading those back.
I'll make a motion to nominate J.D. Masur.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Okay, no further discussion.
President, were we supposed to make a motion to discuss the 2 or to vote on one of them?
The motion was only made for 1, so the only candidate that you have in front of you is the motion for J.D.
Thank you.
Okay. So now that we have our 4 candidates.
vote.
Call for a vote. J.D. Masur?
Roll call vote or?
Yes.
Understand?
How many for J.D. Masur?
Oh, show of hands, okay. enough.
Show of hands.
Okay, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. Show of hands. Any opposed? 1.
Madam President, with a split vote, just to make sure everybody's on the record, we will ask for a roll call.
Okay, now we will do a roll call. Councilor Kramer, yea or nay?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Chavis?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Wells?
Just for J.D. and Missouri?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Giles?
Yes.
Councilor Jennings?
Yes?
Councilor Freeman?
Yes.
Councilor Crone?
Yes.
Counselor Missouri, yes.
I wasn't sure. That's why I hesitated. I'm sorry. Okay, so 8 for J.D. Masur. So the 4 councilors, these 4 positions will be filled by Karen Horseman, John Paul, Faith Alvarez, and Jim Masur.
J.D. Mazur.
Okay, next will be we will look at the appointments for the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority.
Can we do BZA alternate?
The alternate?
Oh, the alternate for the zoning appeal, Board of Zoning Appeals. Well, we will have Eugene West or James Ertner.
Yeah. And actually, I like to scratch Mr. Ertner's name from the,
Take it off.
yes.
Okay. So then we will have Eugene West.
Or any other nomination?
Or any other nominations that you all will have. Are there any further nominations for the alternate?
Thank you.
For the zoning?
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion on the ballots being collected.
Ask for a motion.
Motion on the ballots being collected.
Can I have a motion on the ballots that are being collected by the clerk for the alternate?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Thank you, Councilor Kramer, and thank you, Councilor Jennings, for the second.
Eugene West.
We have 9 for Eugene West as an alternate. Okay. Let's move on to the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority. Are you ready? Okay. Fort Harrison Reuse Authority, we have Dion Atkinson and Karen Horth Powers. Any other nominations? Okay.
With Powers.
Oh, 2. Yeah, it's a regular 2. I just voted for 1.
Can I get a motion on the ballots being collected by the clerk?
What's the next one, Karen?
That's Karen Powers as well.
And Dion Atkinson.
Oh, shit.
Motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilor Chavis.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Jennings, for the second.
Can we call Cheryl?
You can nominate her if you think she's going to do it, and if she withdraws, we'll just.
We have 9 for Dion Atkinson and 9 for Karen Horth Powers. Discussion? First time I asked. Okay, now we can move on to Economic Development Committee. This is our last one. We have Ray Anderson. Any other nominees? Can I get a motion on the ballots being collected by the clerk?
Make a motion?
Thank you, Councilor Jennings.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Kramer, for the second. We have 9 for Ray Anderson. Okay. Now we can move on to new business. The next agenda item is the resolution number 1, 2024. We have a discussion on legal counsel for the Lawrence Common Council. Discussion?
A motion.
Clerk? Madam Clerk, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution number 1, 2024, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana concerning retention of Frost Brown Todd LLP legal counsel.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do we have a motion to approve resolution number 1, 2024 as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Councilor Chavis.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilor Giles, for the second. Is there any further discussion? We will now proceed to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying yay.
Yay.
Aye.
Aye.
That's 9.
Any opposed? None. All 9.
Motion carried.
Okay, motion carried. The next agenda item is comments of the administration.
Good evening, councilors. My name is Leandro. I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff for the City of Lawrence. But first, I get started. I want to wish a happy birthday to Councilwoman Sharon Freeman. Congratulations and happy birthday. I just want to give some general announcements. I shared with you all last month that the City of Lawrence will be having its annual Black History Month celebration. So I want you guys to know, and please come and join us on February 29th. For our annual Black History Month celebration. It will be at the Reset Center. That's 4330 North Post Road. This is a free event open to the public for everyone to join. Doors open at 6 p.m. for vendors and guests. The program is from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. The program consists of local singers, performers for the Lawrence Township School District, dancers, musicians, and more. Additionally, there will be some vendors and local minority business that will be present at the celebration as well. We hope everyone can join us there. Please let me know if you have any questions or need additional information. I also want to congratulate one of our city employees, Bev Ludwig, who retired after 36 years of service to the city. Those who do not know Bev, she works in the controller's office. She's our payroll coordinator. Bev retired on January 31st, which is last week, and was presented with a plaque of thanks for her service to the city from Mayor Whitfield. I do want to give a few updates from some of our departments. Application for the Lawrence Police Department Citizens Academy is open and will close on February 15th. The Citizens Academy is a 12-week-long program where citizens can learn more about Lawrence Police Department. Graduates of the Lawrence Police Department Citizen Academy will gain an improved understanding of the Lawrence Police Department policing function and will be able to better assist officers in identifying and resolving problems in their community. You can apply online on the website, and again, application closed on February 15th. I do want to give some updates from the fire department. You may have saw in the news recently this weekend that the Heartland Ambulance Servants, which is on South Shaland towards Pillington Pike area, kind of the corner of the city of Lawrence, had a fire recently that broke out over the weekend. The crew there managed to put out the ambulance that caught on fire in their warehouse. There was 12 ambulances in that warehouse. It was stopped by the crew, and those ambulances are back in service, though Fire Chief Wallace did want to let me know that some of them are temporarily running out the Station 38 right now, and they should be back into their warehouse and facility sometime next week as well. a few council meetings ago, maybe the most recent one, I gave you guys an update regarding the water damage that happened at Station 37. That has been mitigated, and there is currently some repairs that are being made as we speak. And so after speaking with the fire chief, he let me know that that should be taken care of relatively soon. Also, too, last week, Mayor Whitfield swore in firefighter Mike Williams on his new promotion as lieutenant. So congratulations to Lieutenant Mike Williams. And for those who attended this last Saturday, the Lawrence Fire Department held their 2023 annual banquet. Several firefighters earned recognition and awards for their service and dedication to the city of Lawrence. If you can just bear with me, I just want to recognize some of the awards and recognition that some of these brave firefighters have been awarded and presented. Medal of Bravery went to Lieutenant Nick Henson, William, and I apologize in advance if I mispronounce some of these names, I apologize. William Bowerstocks and Lieutenant Nick Remmel. Officer of the Year, Lieutenant Nick Remmel. Firefighter of the Year, Todd Woolidge. Rookie of the Year, Jordan McCullen. Civilian of the Year, Jared Long. Firefighter Medic, Anthony Ammerman. Firefighter EMT went to Chris Urlich. Professional Excellence, which traditionally is given to one firefighter, but after consulting with some of their peers, they decided to award two of the Professional Excellence to Jacob Turman and Lieutenant Nick Hensel. I apologize. There were a number of unit citations for different events that took place last year that the fire chiefs want me to highlight. So there were some unit citations that I want to recognize. Fire A shift, EMS run A shift, Fire C shift, and Fire C shift as well for another incident that took place where there was SWATs involved. I encourage you to speak with the fire chiefs, particularly about those incidents if you want to know about those recognitions of those citations, but just wanted to let some of those units receive a citation. Commendation of Merit went to Captain Jeff Blake, Kevin Sheik, Steve Rick, and Adam Elron for commendations of merit. The Chief Award went to Engineer Jason Mooney, and the unit award went to Lieutenant Eric Jenkins. So if you have a time, I encourage you all to congratulate some of our firefighters and their acts of service last year. Moving on to DPW and streets. Jim Hennigan, our street director, wanted me to note that from German Church, from 46th Street South to 42nd Street, the City of Lawrence is not responsible for those pothole fillings. From German Church Road, 46th Street South to 42nd Street. South to 42nd Street. Lawrence, DPW is not responsible for those. Indianapolis is.
How about Shaylin from the highway to 46?
I can ask him about that. I'm pretty sure. Yes, yeah, I can double check with that for sure. But I know that's in the city limits. And speaking of potholes, Director Hennigan wanted me to let you know that right now the city is using cold mix to fill the potholes at the present, and until we start doing hot patch, which typically take place in April, but we may do it at the end of March depending on the weather. So right now we're still tackling winter months, so we have to use the cold mix, but once it kind of gets warmer and we can predict the weather a little bit better, we'll use the hot mix. But if citizens want to report a pothole, they can report at cityoflawrence.org/report-potholes. From our Parks Department, just a few updates. A couple of recreational sports will be happening coming up in the coming weeks and months. FC Pride, their registration is open now. I think it closes on the 17th. Or excuse me, it opens on the 17th. Oakland Youth Basketball, Baseball is open. Registration on the 11th. And then the Fall Creek Softball and Baseball is open till the 16th. And with that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
Madam President. I would like to address the administration. Could you give us some follow-up on the priority trash?
Sure.
A lot of people are.
I'll do my best to answer those. So we had a conversation with Priority last week. Priority Races finish up the tote exchange at the moment. I believe we're on week 5 of 6. After talking with some of the representative, priority reports that they anticipate delivery of all trash toters completed within the next week, and we begin the recycle swap today on February 5th. Approximately 11,000 of the 14,000 houses have been serviced and will receive at least one toter. As previously communicated, residents are permitted to set extra bags of trash outside the toters. Priority will pick them up without additional fees during this transition period. Priority is requesting that all toters go out the night before residents' trash day is and leave them out at least till 7 p.m. on your trash day, just to make sure that there's reasonable time for it to get picked up and receive all your trash. If residents' trash toter was not exchanged this week or at any point, please give them some time. There may be some delays or difficulty to get to certain properties. We encourage residents to use the city website to request additional toters to be delivered, and that you could go to the city website at cityoflawrence.org/request-trash-recycle-toter. If you want one of those. At this time, we anticipate the beginning of delivery of those extra toters to be in mid-March. So if everyone could just give us a little time, I promise you they will be out there. And if you guys were not aware that DPW did hire an extra staffer that works in the administration to help with some of those customer service and DPW questions that come between Priority and the administration, or in the administration.
Madam Chair, I have a follow-up question to that. You were saying that if you have, so like myself personally, I have two toters. I noticed that they picked up one and swapped one, but they left my old Lawrence one. Do I have to, will they just come, is that what were you saying, they're going to come?
Just continue to live it out and they will
replace
exchange
it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, there are multiple cases where the DPW has been communicating to Priority about certain situations where someone from Indianapolis may bring their Republic or Waste Management toters into the city, or unfortunately, someone moved from the city of Lawrence to take their toters out. So there's a lot of in between and trying to figure out where the toters for those residents to be, just so we can get an accurate count of where they're supposed to be.
I'm sorry. I'm one of those people.
So we're doing our best to make sure that our staff and everyone gets an accurate count, because ultimately, you and I are charged for that. So we just want to make sure that we have our best accurate count. So during this exchange, I know sometimes we may have used different toters for different reasons, an extra one, and may have got picked up, and we've tried our best to get those back to those people.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a recyclable bin, and I've asked for it to be picked up.
Okay.
They won't do it because it's a package deal.
Okay.
I can't get that recyclable container into my garage, and my HOA is just having a fit.
Oh, okay.
It just won't fit in my garage.
Let's see.
How can I get the city to take it back? Or what do I do with it?
I don't have the answer for that, unless Renee, I would say, let me talk to Renee Rafala. She would know the best answer for that. Transition from a new administration, we're still getting up to speed on kind of the details of the contract. And so once I know more, and I would make a note of that, I will certainly follow up with you.
Okay.
Got a quick question. Is there a additional cost for an extra tote?
Yes.
Yes, it is. And so that's why we're asking residents if they want that additional toter, that they will have to go on the website to request that.
Thank you.
So what the 6-week process now is to make sure everyone of the resident gets at least one. If they request an additional one, then yes, that is at a cost.
Makes sense.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, comments from citizens. If any citizen wish to speak, please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Daniel E. Rapp, 5718 Wallingwood Drive. My question is, voting for the Board of Zoning Appeal. On 20 February, there is a zoning meeting. What members of the zoning board will be there? The old ones or the new ones?
Good question. It's the new ones.
I didn't know because I didn't know if the minutes had to be approved before that became effective.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, so the actions taken this evening will be effective as of the votes that were taken this evening, so the new members will be present at the BZA meeting next month.
Well, it's not next month, it is this month.
This month.
Yes.
Because there is some issues probably coming up at that 20 February meeting that will affect people like myself.
We hope to see all the Wallingwood Drive there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
My name is Dennis Reese. My address is 5455 Pelham Way. I represent members of the Benjamin Square Neighborhood Association. We have some issues that apparently we've addressed, but there's been no action on it. So we got street signs in need of repair or replacement. We've contacted the appropriate resources and nothing's been done about it as of today. There are cars parked near the corner of Barksdale and Milroy, blocking lines of sight of oncoming traffic coming down Barksdale.
On Barksdale, yeah.
There's no yellow curb at that particular location on the Barksdale side. My understanding is that there's a retired police officer that stays there, and this has been a problem for the past few years. After talking to my counselor, been trying to deal with it for years, and for some reason, it hasn't been resolved as of yet.
I've never seen it.
Massive problem that we got in our neighborhood are the cars that's parking on the sidewalk. They're literally just destroying the sidewalk. It cannot handle that kind of weight. And we called law enforcement through the non-emergency number, and there's been no response. And I'm wondering, what do we do? So I'm just asking for members of the board to hopefully assist us with this, because there's only so much we can do ourselves. Even with the HOA, we're limited. So we're looking for some representation to address these matters that we have.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I got a question for him, though, if you don't mind, sir.
Mr. Reese?
I got a question for you. Did you say you're in the Benjamin Square
Benjamin Square,
apartment complex right here?
right.
Right. And the street signs, they're not the blue signs?
Yes, they are.
Oh, and they're damaged and need replaced already? We just bought them.
You need to come through our neighborhood to take.
Aren't you right here on the fort?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine in the hood is still up, man. Y'all breaking stuff down on the fort?
Oh, man, these signs have been in disarray. I mean, we put in orders for it. There's no work orders. Nobody's come out to even address it. That's why I'm here.
So the signs are the new blue signs. And
There's some blue signs, and there's still some white signs over there.
Okay, that's an issue. All the white signs should be replaced, but are the blue signs still in good repair?
No. There's one on Drum and Ames. It needs to be, as far as I remember.
It's fallen or?
It's just, you got letters that our neighbors have actually had to design letters to put up there so that you can actually see the spelling of the.
So it's faded? I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with the sign. The sign is faded?
I think you would have to come and take a look at it, honestly.
Because you've contacted DPW in the past, I imagine, right?
Right, we have.
And we're pretty good at replacing signs. That's why I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference in this
We
situation.
asked them, we put in a request, and thus far, there's been no work order. There's been no action taken.
That is shocking. Okay,
That's why I'm bringing it to you guys.
we've had signs get knocked down by cars in my neighborhood, and I have to say that they
see
get
what I'm saying?
they get it up fairly
Right,
quickly.
and that happens.
Right.
But you know, if you know, like, we got streets that are not right there on the main drag, that's, you know, in the back. And so,
The little alleys and
yeah,
stuff.
I mean, you know, it's just around.
I'm just trying to make
the
sure
end
that
of the
that is
neighborhood.
public property and not your property. Because
No, this is public.
yeah, there it is. The city official's nodding his head behind me. I figured that was it, and that's why I held you up here. Because what has been my experience in my 12 years, well, not 12, 9 years on the council now, is that when we don't replace them, it's typically owned by that apartment complex, town home place, or that community.
It's not owned by the HOA. This is all public.
I don't know if that's the case, sir. I think that's your issue.
I think, well,
We'll see what the
I'm
city
not
has to
sure,
say.
I'm not sure if Miss Robinson stays in my neighborhood. I've heard that she does.
Who, Betty?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so Betty, when you get a chance around Pelham Way, around Drum and Ames, all that, take a ride around there. Take a ride around the neighborhood. You see cars that are literally just, I mean, these are
Parking on the sidewalk, I've seen that.
not
I've seen that.
sedans. These are pickup
Right.
trucks.
We're trying to figure out, I understand that, I'm trying to figure out responsibility so that we can hold people accountable.
Right. And see,
But I
therefore-
think in this situation, unfortunately, I think you're gonna find that the answer is that you and your HOA is responsible for those actions. That's unfortunate. It's one of the reasons why I don't live in those communities.
Right.
Going over to 46th Street, man, you don't have to worry about it.
Right, but see, then again, you're not sure.
Well, I mean,
Whether or not-
I'm not 90%, but I'll get the attorney. I mean, I'm just sorry. I just wanted to make sure, not cutting you off, I wanted to make sure that I represented you correctly, and I want to hold DPW accountable, and I know there's something that I'm particularly care about is the look of our city, and all of us do.
Right.
And so, and I know that Ms. Sharon is very good at that as well. And so I knew that there had to be more to it, sir. Not
Right,
trying to,
and I've had
you know,
discussions with Ms. Sharon.
and she's really good at that.
And that's why I had discussions with
So so more than likely, if you didn't get the answer you need, there's something more to it. And we'll try to figure out how we can best help you. Maybe the HOA can buy some signs or something. I don't know, but sure.
Yeah, all we wanted to do is just sit back and get tax dollars addressed correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, hey, we want representation.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't want to sit back and come up here and just
But
complain
sometimes
about
when you live on those house farms, you own things.
Say again?
Sometimes when you live on the house farm, you own things that are not the city's responsibility.
Question.
Yeah.
Is the issue about too many cars on both sides of the street?
It's throughout the neighborhood.
Right. Because you guys don't have
These vehicles,
narrow streets
I
with
mean,
limited parking.
we just recently sent out newsletters, you know, but then we got renters in our neighborhood. There's 20-some odd homes in our neighborhood that belong to renters, you know?
Belong to, or being,
Well, I mean, just say they occupy the home.
there you go.
And then we got investors that don't even live in our neighborhood. They stay out the country or elsewhere, you know? And so, I mean, our neighborhood is right smack dab in the middle of downtown
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Absolutely.
And it seems like you want to kind of upkeep that while you're doing everything else around that neighborhood. Somebody need to come through and take a look at what's going on.
I agree.
That's decaying our neighborhood.
I agree. We just don't know where the responsibility may lie, unfortunately. That's all I'm trying to.
Right. So, I mean, you know, look.
It's kind of like I got dead trees in everybody's yard in my community. And it is a hamper on my community. But unfortunately, I can't get the city to cut down every dead tree because it is the responsibility of the ownership. I have flooding in my neighborhood where everybody's yard floods. The city can do what it can from the street level, but if in the backyard, people got to put in French drains. I got seniors who can't afford that, but I can't do anything about it. And because of these rules. So that's where I'm just.
Okay, but that's your neighborhood, okay?
Right.
I'm up here now because there's a new administration.
But the rules of the city don't change,
The
unfortunately.
rules of the city don't change. So how come our needs have not been addressed?
And that's where I'm going to find out. Technically, he's ready behind you to tell you.
Right behind you.
I don't know if you can.
Oh, yeah. I had questions for him, too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because he stand up and he said, oh, well, hey, 46th Street to 42nd Street is, well, Lawrence is not responsible. Somebody responsible
City,
because
so you have a city, so I'll explain this to you real quick. I'm big on this because, so you have a city, county councilor, or Indianapolis councilman that is responsible, that you should call to be responsible for that. So you have a county, you have an Indianapolis councilman that represents you as a county resident, and you have us as a Lawrence councilman that represents you as a city council. So some of those roads and thoroughfares have to be addressed. It's UNIGOV, it's complicated, it's layered.
Right.
I can't even patch the street in front of my house on Shadeland.
and I'm feeling you on that, but see, I'm a bus driver. So therefore, I'm sitting back and I'm driving on these roads. I'm looking at roads like 46th Street that people are sitting back, their cars are ended up on the side of the road
I know,
because of all these
absolutely,
potholes.
absolutely,
See what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So it doesn't, even though you sitting back and you building these new homes, what good is that when the roads
The defense on the potholes is that we're in February, we're using cold patch, which is a temporary patch. We also had that high freeze and the low cold, which is some of the worst things to create potholes. Our DPW is working really hard, but it's gonna take time to fill those in. Like I tell my motorcycle brothers, they wanna jump out on bikes today, but it's not
conducive to
April,
do so.
right? And so,
I can understand
so
that.
that's just, I'm just keeping it real. I'm sorry.
And I'm keeping it real too.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to sit back and get answers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I can go to my counselor and say this and this and this is happening, but she can only do so much.
Absolutely.
So I'm talking to the group as a whole. We got issues.
Right. The guy
Somebody
behind you,
need to
Bill.
address them. Plain and simple.
Well, we're gonna hear what he's got to say. I'm curious to see if we can hold him to it.
We'll holler.
Let's just.
I just want to say, thank you for bringing that to the attention. Historic, like you said, depending on the area, some may be, signage may be responsible of the HOA or condos, or the city. I would say that recently, since the change in administration, the Mayor Whitfield is more likely to be able to get those signage. In fact, Harrison Trail, the condominiums in front of the Lawrence Community Park also requesting the signage, and we were able to fulfill those. So I see no problem in making sure we make sure that that signage is fulfilled. And I would get in contact with this gentleman to make sure that's taken care of.
Well, good deal.
Thank you.
See, you got it done, sir. You got it done.
Okay. The next agenda item is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Thanks, Councilor Kramer. Thank you, Councilor Jennings, for seconding it. Meeting adjourned.